I'm going to be really truthful with everybody. I know my whole church family is going to see this, but when we started this study, I resented it. I resented it because I had no clue as to how I could have that kind of faith and trust. Believe it, I had it at one time, but I also wasn't making the money that I'm making now. And I resented it. But it's been playing on my heart ever since I went back to work that I needed to get back to where I was with my faith and with my trust. And God and I sat down and we talked one day. And I finally had to admit I had to be able to do what was in my heart. And that is to show my faith, to show my trust. If I didn't, I was nothing but a liar in what I'm trying to do in my life and to show God. So let me tell you, I got paid last Friday. God got paid first. So thanks.
My name is Grace Coward, and this is my second week that I am at the Watson's home. I'm having a very good experience with experiencing generous and generosity. It have taught me a lot, and it made me realize that it's not only money that we need to be generous. We can be generous within our heart. We can be generous in giving. We can be generous in just hugging someone and letting them know that you care. Well, I must say this is a wonderful home I'm in, and I feel very, very welcome.
Yeah, I've been coming to Brian and Gail's for about 1.5 years in this life group, and it's really been a blessing. Just even being a new person to Christ and learning everything, and the Genius of Generosity has been a wonderful program. It's just taught me so much of how that I really need to work on a lot of things, but it's definitely been a pleasant experience. I have a lot of fun in the life group, and I don't know where else to say with that. So it's definitely been a blessing for my life.
Hey guys, Genius of Generosity was just a new awakening on how I handle my entire life, not only finances, but every aspect, my time, my giftings, my family, everything else. It was a new awakening of truly, deeply understanding stewardship, and that it is all God's, not mine, and to handle it in such a way that brings Him glory, honor, and praise. And just to see the people around me take hold of it and learn that generosity is not just a once a week or once a month thing, that it is a daily lifestyle that we all live on a constant basis. And just to see the joy that they receive from that revelation as it came, and to see where it's going is even better, and where God's going to take it in the future is going to be enormous. And I can't wait to see the rewards that God's going to have for them and my family and I, and when we get there to meet Him. Thanks.
So the Genius of Generosity has really been insightful for me, because it really has taught me where my heart is and where my money and time and talents are going to. I want to make sure that I am generous towards my church and generous towards my church family, and this study and this Bible study has really taught me what I need to do and how I can be more generous and be a genius generosity giver.
All right, well, what I've learned is just to be a little bit more aware of, how God is teaching people to be generous. A lady at my office that I work at came to me recently and said that her friend had a friend that was struggling with severe depression, and basically she had the bright idea to go ahead and write some letters as a life group to this friend that was struggling with depression, and they just put them in the mail, and that was the end of it. They just felt like they had done what God asked them to do. And a few days later, she came to me and asked me to pray with her, because the lady who was struggling with depression texted her friend and said, listen, life is just getting too difficult. I'm ready to end my life. And it put her into a state of panic. So we prayed, and she had not known if the lady had received the letters they sent to her or not. So we just kind of left it with God. The very next day, she came into my office and told me, listen, Kyle, you won't believe what happened. Late that night, she went to her mailbox, and those letters were sitting there waiting on her. And she read through each and every letter that we sent to her, and she texted my friend and told her, I'm still ready. She says, those letters really touched my heart, and I feel like living again. And so for me, that's what generosity is all about, and it was amazing.
The genius of generosity has taught me to have faith. And Marlene just mentioned that, but it just really drove it home. And there's nothing stronger than saying, I trust you, you have me, and I will do everything that I can to live a life that is worthy of that love. That's what I took away from the study.
Well, we've been doing our life group for a couple of years now. We're blessed to have some new folks right now. There's a few stories that have come out of this time in Genius of Generosity. Rachel had shared with us, and I'll share this on her behalf since she's not here tonight. But she had shared how she had a need for brakes in her car. She hadn't said anything to anyone that I'm aware of, but she was telling me this story one day that she needed this major brake job, and all of a sudden the money appeared to her at her shop to have this brake work done, and she doesn't know where that came from, or how that was answered, other than the Lord just moved in somebody's heart. And so that just seemed like a really appropriate example of the genius of generosity on somebody's behalf that just interceded for her at exactly the right time. So we're blessed to have Rachel here and all the others in the group, and just blessed to be able to come together each week over God's Word.
Okay, something that really came into my heart and stuck with me out of the study on generosity was that it is so much more than tithing. I learned about that last year in the Covenant Bible College, but this just reinforced it, and that we are stewards of everything, and it's not just the tithing, it's the offerings, it's the acts of kindness, it's the daily things we do to be generous to others, and that's what's really hit home with me.
So a few weeks ago, when we started the Genius of Generosity, we brought it to the youth in the form of Give It Away, Anthony Kiedis' story from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And so I challenged the students with two things. What can you do as an individual that will show generosity to others, and what can we do as a group? Some of the students got creative and they did the dishes for their mom without mom having to ask, and they did find the kid that nobody else is talking to at school and go sit down and talk to them and share lunch with them, stuff like that. And so as a group, we've got some really great ideas. We've got go down to the soup kitchen and share a meal, donate clothing, and helping widows with their lawn work and stuff like that. So we are going to do what we're going to call the Give It Away Saturday, which will be one Saturday a month where we go out into the community and we just give it away. Maybe we're handing out waters at an intersection, or maybe we're at Walmart just handing out waters, or maybe we're going to the soup kitchen and sharing a meal with the homeless and the poor and the needy. But we're going to take one Saturday a month for the next year and just donate that time to giving it away, to being generous and being genius with our generosity. So we hope to have lots more videos and lots more news coming your way about how this works out. So keep praying for our youth, and we hope to bring you some news soon.